Welcome back. This segment of the Sports Source is brought to you by Madisonville Marine. If you're in the market for a boat, the place to go, Madisonville Marine. Now through May 31st. That's all month long. They have rebates on in-stock models of Godfrey pontoons and Hurricane deck boats of up to $2,500 off. Absolutely terrific boats at terrific prices. That's why we always say Madisonville Marine, there's no better place to buy a boat. All right. 3 weeks ago, we said on the show that it was time for UT to start making roster moves. That week, they added 3 transfers and announced that Vescovy was staying. Then we came back the following Sunday and said, okay, but they're one man over. They're going to have to push somebody out the door. This past week, the one man who went out the door was B.J. Edwards, former 4-star point guard from Catholic High School right down the street. A lot of people last year came in thinking, well, he's the guy that's going to help Sky Ziegler replace Kennedy Chandler. Turns out, instead, he spent the year sitting on the bench for the most part. He got in one game in January late. Even when Ziegler went down, you really didn't see Edwards get a chance out there. This is the second high-profile Wilson. Look, you fill up your bench with local guys. Everybody knows that. But you get some guys that you think can play. Typically, fans want those guys to play. Drew Pember didn't play here. Then he goes to the Big South Conference at UNC Asheville and wins awards there for the type of seasons he had. And I just wonder, at any point, does this come back to haunt Rick Barnes that the guys who are leaving are local guys? It's not like you didn't sign them. You signed them, and then they're transferring out. Is that a concern? Or if you win, no one cares?
I think if you win, nobody really cares, but I think it could have an impact on your ability to get local players. They're going to take a look and say, hey, wait a minute. Drew Pember didn't do anything. Then he goes to UNC Asheville. He's a player of the year. He's a defensive player of the year. I mentioned this before. If he had never gone to Tennessee and went to UNC Asheville and did that, Tennessee would probably say, let's try to get him from the portal.
You just got a kid from the same conference out of the portal.
Who was not player of the year.
Or who was not player of the year,
And I saw B.J. Edwards, and I guess I was wrong, but I saw him against Kennedy Chandler in high school. I saw him against Jaden Springer in high school. I thought this guy's going to help Tennessee. He didn't. Now, I don't know all the reasons why, but he didn't. And then they, instead of trying, in my opinion, instead of developing him, they took a scorer from Indiana State, Tyreek Key, and tried to make him a point guard. That one puzzled me a little bit.
I just think you weren't the only one that liked B.J. Edwards coming in. I just think more than likely he didn't practice the way that Rick Barnes wants him to practice, didn't play defense the way Rick Barnes wanted him to play defense, and that's fine. I mean, Rick Barnes has won a lot of college basketball games by being a bit of a hard ass, and I think that's just what he is. But at some point, I wonder if fans don't look at it, or local coaches don't look at it. So that's where you burn the bridges, is the local coaches saying, why would I send a kid to you when you don't play the local kids, which is kind of what you were getting at there. Right. Josh, your thoughts on this? Any kind of blowback down the road, or if you do what you've been doing, not a concern?
My guess is that there's not a blowback. So if a recruit locally has a chance to go to Tennessee and really wants to go to Tennessee, then I think that recruit's going to say, well, I'm better than B.J. Edwards. I'm better than Drew Pember. I'll be fine. I'll succeed. It'll work out for me. From a fan standpoint, I think it's about winning. If you win with guys out of the area, great. If you lose with guys locally or out of the area, you're going to be mad no matter what. So I think from a fan standpoint, they prefer to see local guys when they sign succeed. Yeah. But if they're not succeeding, fans will say, well, let's go get somebody else.
Get rid of them. The interesting thing with BJ, there's not a lot of, once you're on there, if you're not that good, the love for the local kid goes right out the window. BJ Edwards, what's going to be key for Barnes is, where does he go? And if he goes to, if he goes down a level, the way Pember did, I don't think it's a concern. If he goes sideways, if somebody else picks him up that's a comparable tournament team, and that team goes further in the tournament, and Edwards contributes, that's where it could come back to haunt Rick. Well, that's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, I do think Drew Pember succeeding the way he has, and Tennessee needing more big man scoring, then that's been a fair frustration from fans. And I've wondered, okay, could you not have helped him continue to develop here, and he could have done, not that statistically, but provided more offense that Tennessee needed?
If you're Tennessee, you don't want B.J. Edwards to go to Auburn and succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Example.
Yeah, or Memphis, or you don't want to see this guy jet past you in an NCAA tournament someday because at a comparable school. That's the kind of thing that could raise more hackles, I suppose. Nobody wants the hackles raised. All right. When we come back, the Vols move up with all the moves they've made. The Vols move up to number 7 in one ESPN Writers preseason poll. How confident are we that Tennessee basketball, with a team we haven't seen, is going to finish in the top 7 in the country? We'll discuss what the outlook is next. Come on back on the Sports Zone.